from my own experience, improving 1% a week is a much more realistic approach and much more attainable for someone like me who is a parent. Hello and welcome back. My name is Valentina, and today we're going to be talking about improving. I know that you're watching and you're following those gurus and those productivity, influencers on YouTube or Instagram, whatever you are after. But for me, being a parent, it's much more realistic to improve that 1% a week. And I see that it has less pressure on me. It's like taking that particular burden off my shoulders, that I know that 1% a week is more than enough for someone like me, being a parent, being a single parent. Maybe for someone who has much more time on their hands is, something they can actually do on regular basis. But for me, when I'm trying to improve in any area in my life, I'm thinking 1% a week, it's something that I can handle, something that it's much more reasonable for me. So first of all, you are much more likely to stick to that particular thing that you're trying to do. For example, I'm trying to teach myself how to do splits. I'm doing, different exercises, different stretchings every day. But I never push myself to a point where I cannot walk the next day. I'm late in my 30s, I have children, I have things I need to do, so I cannot push my body up to a point where I cannot function the next day. That would be kind of bad. So whenever I'm trying to push myself and improve myself in a certain direction, whether it's, learning how to do splits, learning a couple of dance steps, I always look at it this way. If I improve a little bit by little bit, in the end, you can see the difference. But I don't need to do like a 50% improvement in a week and, not being able to walk for a month after that. I have other responsibilities. The way I look at it, at least something is getting done. For me, it's it works in a way that, I want to keep moving. So even if it's just 1%, even if it's just that little step, it's fine. It's better than nothing. I ran into this quote the other day, Einstein said that everybody is a genius, and you are a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it's gonna live its whole life thinking that, it's stupid. So don't compare yourself. You are on your own path and you're gonna make it. I do believe you are good at something. There is something that is good about you that you know how to do better than everyone else. You just haven't discovered that yet. So start small, don't rush. Don't think that, everything needs to be done in a day. No, small steps, little. Make it lighter on yourself. You don't need to stress too much about improving 20% a day. So here are a couple of steps I took to kind of find my passion and see what I'm interested in. Deep analysis of myself. I cannot empathize enough. Just do a deep analysis. Take a pen and paper and actually write down what you like, what you dislike, what you kind of dislike and what you kind of like. See which one intercepts. There must be something that you really used to like as a child even. So give it a thought, give it a good thought, and sit with yourself and write down everything. It's gonna put your life into such a different perspective when you actually look at the piece of paper and you see, oh, I didn't even know that I like that. It's gonna help. Go back to therapy if you ever were doing it, or just start therapy. It changed my life completely. I'm so surprised that it's like I was living under a rock, seriously. I don't know where I was hiding all this time, and therapy really put life into a different perspective for me. It really opened my eyes on my childhood trauma, or on why I am the partner I am today, or a friend, or a mother. And therapy is going to be that 1% improvement a day, a week, however you want to see it fit. But do really do therapy. I really do encourage you. Another thing that I do is I declutter my space. You would be surprised at the things you can find in your house when you are decluttering it. You don't have to do it all in a day. You can choose a room per day. That's going to be your 1% improvement. When you're going to see, maybe you're going to find a pair of earrings that you were at some point thinking, I can do that. Maybe I should do a custom, maybe I should be a custom jewelry designer. That's gonna strike an idea. You never know what you're gonna find. Maybe you're gonna find an old journal when you were writing poetry and you totally forgot about it. Now that you look at it and you think, oh my God, I was actually good at it. So you never know what you might find in your own house. So make sure you declutter. I was reading this really cool book, and I really truly recommend. I'm gonna link it down below. The Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. I cannot stress enough. This girl explains how each piece of clothing, each thing in our house has a certain energy, and that when you take it in your hands, when you go through your things, it kind of strikes positive emotions. If it's something you like, then you should keep it when it brings up positive emotions. If you something don't like and it brings up negative emotions, you should just get rid of it. And by decluttering your space, you're gonna declutter your mind. You're gonna see that much clearer what you have, and that's gonna open your eyes to certain things. You never know what you might run into. Maybe like an old diary where you were writing about how you want to be a professional mountain climber and you forgot about it. Another thing that really helped me to kind of understand what I want to do is I ask my friends, those friends that actually wish you well, not these, another type of friends. I ask them, what do you think I should be doing? What do you see me doing? What do you think I would be good at? And they're going to tell you quite honestly. You don't have to follow their advice to the dot, but that's going to give you like a much more clearer picture. Oh, I never thought about that. Oh, maybe that's a good point. One of your friends can tell you maybe you would be good at babysitting children, or be a kindergarten teacher, or maybe you would be good as a mentor. Maybe you would be good as a therapist. You never know how people see you from the outside. So getting that extra opinion, extra positive criticism is going to open up so many doors for you. Ask your parents. Ask your parents what you were doing in your childhood when you were a baby, what you were mostly passionate about, what exactly struck your curiosity. And you don't know, maybe you forgot about a passion that you thought as a child that you're going to definitely pursue. So ask your parents. I'm sure they have some kind of funny stories about what you used to love when you were a child. Another thing that I did is I found a mentor. They're pretty expensive. You don't have to have a mentor for every day of your life, but someone who you are accountable to, someone who you can have like a Zoom call once a month, and they can ask you, so what did you achieve this month? What's the progress? How is this going? Did you write down the 5 goals you want to achieve this month? Like someone who knows what they're doing, and it's an extremely helpful person to have in your life. Someone who is not going to be biased, who is not going to be favoriting you just because you are family or friend or parent or whatever. Someone who can actually look from the outside and tell you exactly what you don't want to hear. So improving 1% of a week means you need to start educating yourself in the field that you are actually interested in. You need to put in the effort. I am in the middle of the spectrum. I do believe in the power of thought and in the power of, wishful thinking and thinking positive. And I do believe in the power of getting off your bed, getting up and actually getting something done. So I'm somewhere in the middle. I don't know about you, but I'm in the middle. So I do believe that you need to be positive. You need to be talking to yourself. You need to be optimistic about what you're doing, about any kind of project you're trying to do, and any kind of goal you're trying to achieve. But I also believe in getting the work done. I do believe that you really should be getting off your bed, and you should be doing things that are going to push you closer to that goal. Nothing is going to happen if you're just going to be, laying down in your bed and literally doing nothing and expecting something to happen, something good. Because whoever you see who is successful and whoever is at a certain level of success, they did the work, they put in the effort, they did spend the hours, and not in front of the TV watching a Netflix show, but actually, working. So if you want to kind of achieve something, don't just believe in the power of the universe. I do believe in the power of the universe. I do believe that there's something that is bigger than us that is pushing us towards our goal, our goal. But in order for us to get to that goal, we need to push ourselves as well. Take classes. I cannot emphasize enough how it is important to be a student again, especially when you have children. We are in the teacher's mode. We want to teach, all the time, non-stop, our children. But as they grow older, it's 21st century. They have access to the internet. They have access to everything. You need to grow at the same, time with them. So you need to be a student again. You need to teach yourself, because once you taught them the basics and, kind of how to put on their shoes and how to do good in school, you need to teach them like certain like higher things. So maybe how to find a good therapist, how to maintain a good friendship. And based just on your life experience is not going to be enough. You need to teach yourself, you need to educate yourself, and you need to grow at the same time as your children are growing. This way, they will be more likely to come and ask you for a certain advice, as opposed to going online, because they're thinking, oh, mom is like smart. She's taking classes, she's doing this, she's doing that, she's moving up. So maybe it would be better to ask her as opposed to look an answer on the internet. You have to stay consistent. I don't know about people who don't have children, but people who have children tend to be a little bit more organized. At least this is what I found from my personal experience. So, take it with a grain of salt. So because you have children, you have to be organized to a certain degree. And I find that if I'm organized as a mother, I'm organized as a, human being, as someone who wants to grow in a certain field. So be consistent, especially when you're trying to grow on social media. They are very what's the word? Unapologetic? I have no idea. Anyways, they're very judgmental, I would say, towards people who disappear of social media. You can use your spot, you can lose your spot, you can lose that momentum. So don't just drop it. You have to be consistent. And I was talking to a girl the other day. I attended the Toronto Salsa Congress, which was a fantastic event. And she was telling me, oh, I saw you on YouTube. I tried YouTube, but I guess you have to be consistent. Yeah, you do. You have to be consistent. There's no other way around it. There's no, easy road. If you're trying to grow on social media, you do have to put in the work, and you do have to do it consistently. So if you're trying to grow in any kind of field, I do believe that being on point and being kind of interested and passionate about what you're trying to learn, I find that passion does a lot for someone. I feel like I'm myself, again, going back to myself, I don't want to sound like a prude, but I feel like when I knew what I'm passionate about, I was that much more eager to spend my time doing and learning about this particular field, as opposed to watching another movie. So that 1% improvement came to me as 5-10% improvement a week, because I was that much more passionate and I was that much more eager to learn. Ask for feedback, ask for constructive criticism, and man up, don't take it personally. If someone is giving you feedback, this is how they see you, and maybe you should take some points. I wouldn't say follow their advice to the dot, but an overall picture should be more or less drawn to you when you are trying to grow in a particular field. If you are doing a podcast, if you're doing a YouTube channel, if you're trying to dance, if you're, I don't know, whatever your passion is, if you're trying to grow and make yourself visible on social media in that particular area, or not necessarily social media, but in general, then you do need to get that feedback. You do need to ask your mentor or your friends or whoever to actually, have a look at your video, listen to your podcast, read your newsletter, and tell you, well, this is good or this is bad, or maybe I would improve, or maybe I would get a mentor, or maybe I would get someone to help me, maybe I would get someone to edit my newsletters. This is what I did at the beginning. I have a newsletter. I'm gonna link it down below as well. My children have a tutor that they go to, not on regular basis, when they're stuck at a certain subject. So I asked him, I said, you know what, English is not my first language. I'm trying to write a newsletter every week that I'm trying to send out to my family, to my friends. I'm trying to grow an audience. Can you please proofread them for me, at least at the beginning, so I'll see how I do. I see if, what mistakes I make. Maybe you can guide me, because I knew that he's teaching English and literature in school. He was more than happy to help me. He didn't charge me like an arm and a leg. He charged me the exact same amount that he was charging my children. And I had a couple of sessions with him, and he taught me. He gave me a couple of sheets like for connection words for newsletter, gave me a couple of points, how to make the text flowy. it really helped. So don't feel embarrassed if you ask for someone for help. If that person is a couple of steps ahead of you, then for sure you want to take their advice, and for sure you want to learn from them. Take a break and don't burn out. It's so important to just clear your mind of whatever you're trying to achieve and watch, I don't know, some kind of a chick flick, or listen to some unrelated music, because I feel like when I'm listening to Audible books nonstop, like at the end of the day, I feel like I just want to listen to music. Like I don't want to listen to anything. Don't teach me anything. I just want to relax and I want to clear out my brain. It does help, and you don't want to lose that passion towards what you're learning. So giving yourself that break, it's gonna kind of put that passion on hold, and then you're gonna miss it. You're gonna miss going back and doing your research and practicing in front of a camera. But make sure to give yourself a break. Nothing was built in a day, so have some patience. Another important thing, and this is gonna be the end of the video, really do push yourself out of your comfort zone. Do push yourself. Maybe you're not a dancer, maybe you don't like being on camera, maybe you don't like sending out letters to your friends and family because you think they're gonna laugh at you. They won't. No one cares that much to actually laugh at you. People, about 50% of the time, they won't even open your newsletter, or they won't even go through your YouTube video. And whoever does really cares for you, and they're gonna give you constructive criticism. But come out of that shell, come out of that bubble, and look around yourself. There's so many topics, there's so many things you can learn. So don't be bubbled up and stay in your comfort zone and happy and content. There's much more you can learn out there in the world. Thank you for following, and thank you for watching, and I'm going to see you next time. Ciao.